I gotta be honest with you. If you're into music, sports, and comedy, you gotta be a real jerk-off not to listen to Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast. My name's Rock.
And my name's Archie. Well, our opinions, they might not matter to some, but...
What are you doing in there?
It's a podcast.
Immature, crass, trashy. And those are their good qualities. These poor schmucks are a couple of IQ points away from eating paste. But when it comes to music, sports, and comedy, well, that's all they know. You're listening to
Not These Two Fucking Guys.
Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast.
You know what? It reminds me of something my grandmother used to say. She said, "You little cocksucker, if I ever fucking catch you,
Talking about music, sports, or comedy when you get older?
I'll fucking slap the shit out of you."
With the wooden spoon. Oh, no.
I'm making nice.
Make you a nice BLT.
I'm making a nice plate of Managot.
We're in a band together.
We are best friends and hetero life mates.
Hetero life, you schmuck. I would just like to cheers for our first podcast. That is a shot of Jameson and a Miller Lite. We're celebrating. We're starting this new podcast, and we're bringing it out to the people.
I hope you guys like it.
Yeah, I mean, if you like it, we want you to subscribe at what's our handle, Rocco?
NotThese2FuckingGuys.com.
All right, so that's our website, you schmuck. Now, what's our handle?
It's NTTFGPOD.com.
Once again, he fucked up. He actually doesn't know what a fucking handle is, but at
Your sister sure does that. Weird.
At NTTFGPOD, that would go for Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the lovely social medias out there. Thank you very much for doing this with me. This is a pretty much a month-long dream of mine. And I'm glad we get to share this together.
I couldn't agree any less.
Yes. And I think it can only go down from here.
It won't get any better than this.
Yes. All right, man. You want to get started?
I'd love to.
All right. So we're going to start off with some music. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
So we were checking out Revolver Magazine's top 45 most anticipated rock albums of 2020. Can you believe it's 2020?
Yep, 2020. All the regrets I had.
Too many to count. So the first on my list is my main man, Philip H. Anselmo. Uncle Phil of Pantera, Superjoint, Down, Scour, Phil and the Illegals. He's got a brand...
Phil and the Mamalukes.
That's a real side project he's got going on.
Gotcha.
It's underground yet. Most people don't know about it, but he has a project called N minor, which is what he calls depression core.
Oh, so it's like a positive vibe.
Actually, it's acoustic. It's dark. His vocals are certainly not heavy. It's not groove metal. It's, he compares it to early like U2, like the Smiths. It's basically, if you look at the lyrics, I mean, it's real dark. And it's the reason why it's on my list is absolutely 100% completely different than anything I've ever heard him do.
This would be, what, is this their like second release? Or third release? I've heard something off unless he released a song maybe.
They put out 2 songs.
Okay.
The full-length album's coming out this year, though.
This is their first full-length album. Okay.
They've played a handful of shows, mostly in his native New Orleans. NOLA.
Got it.
And the reason why I love it is, Phil's in his 50s, and he's still prolific, putting out all types of music. Like, as he's gotten older, he's gotten heavier, he's gotten more into extreme metal, with Scour and touching on death metal. I know he's scheduled to tour with Down this year, their 25th anniversary of their Nola album.
I love Down.
Great album.
I've gotten into Down more and more as I got older.
And what I like about it is all his projects are like a little bit different than the next one.
Gotcha.
He's not in 5 bands all doing the same shit. It's
I think you have melodic Phil, you have hardcore Phil, you have I can't fucking understand what you're saying, Phil. But no, everything he does, I'm always into. I mean, love his voice. So I love his shit.
This release is on his own record label, Housecore Records. To do out sometime. They said mid 2020.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. This band right here has aggression, emo side. It has the screamo side. Gathered down into your soul. And I'm not talking about your sister's hoo-ha. I'm talking.
Wait, hold on. I was just gonna text her and say, "You coming out with an album this year?" Because Archie's like talking about it.
Yeah. The Deftones. The Deftones are coming out with an album in 2020. Title is to be announced. Release date is to be announced. But I know their last LP, Gore. I was a pretty big fan of. Not as big as Diamond Eyes or not as big as obviously White Pony and Around the Fur. And again, not your sister. This is the album that they named it after.
I wish you'd just leave her out of it. Nice young woman just trying to make it in the world today.
The guitarist, Stephen Carpenter, and this is what I'm getting from Revolver, is going to be contributing more in the sessions. I can't wait. I'm a huge fucking Deftones fan. The reason why I picked Deftones is because it's one of the live acts that I'll never forget. Going to Chicago with my wife to go see the Misfits reuniting in open air. Basically,
did you guys get engaged out there?
Yes, we did.
Romantic you are.
A little Misfits concert, a little Jameson, a little ring. Shout out to a great human being, Steve Zing. We met up with him through a friend, and we got...
He's the bass player for...
Danzig. He is the bass player for Danzig. I know we're big fans of Danzig.
Huge.
And we saw the Deftones from backstage to watch Chino and company perform. God, that drummer is sick. To watch them perform and to see the crowd react to them. Oh, it was one of the coolest live performances I've ever seen. So, Deftones, 2020, new release.
Next is a band that my wife Anna put me onto a couple years ago. In This Moment, coming out with an album this year called Mother, which is a follow-up to their 2017...
Father? No, okay. Right.
Their 2017 release, Ritual, which had many hits on it. But I am actually really excited because I've seen, I've gone with my wife probably about 5-6 times now. You've actually come to a couple times too.
Yes, absolutely.
Watch them live. Their live show is theatrics. It's you're at a metal show.
Don't forget about Shiprocked.
Ooh, yeah, we saw them on Shiprocked. We saw them 2-3 times on there, and it was awesome. We were in the middle of the ocean. But we saw them a couple years ago actually at we're from Jersey, so we saw them at PNC. You remember when Anna she went backstage?
That's right. I actually do remember that. So your wife, I believe, paid for a meet and greet of old Mother Maria. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, I think the story goes, she paid for a meet and greet. She got one of those. It was,
It wasn't a laminate. It was like a stick-on.
Yeah, because it was like real high tech. They got one of those "Hello, my name is" stickers on her shirt. But it was like if I'm correct, I believe it was like, it wasn't backstage. It was like a side stage type thing.
It was like a tent.
Yeah, it was a tent. So I said, Anna, why don't you give me that sticker? Because I want to meet Maria, but I don't want to pay the money. So Anna said, no, I don't want to do that. That's not right. artists should get their money, and I do believe that. So I took Anna's sticker off her shirt, and I said, I do believe artists should get their money. Yes, that is correct, but I was drunk. So I took the sticker off her shirt, slapped it on my chest, walked up to the opening of the tent. A bouncer looked at me, and he gave me the look of, you want to know what? I don't know if you paid.
You're a pedophile.
I don't know if you paid. I waited in line. There was probably about 6-7 people in line. And I walked into the tent. And unbeknownst to me, I looked to the left. And Maria Brink is about 12 feet tall. 12 feet tall. She's on stilts. This fucking girl's on stilts. I was like, what the fuck is this? I swear to God, I walked in, I looked to the left, and I was looking at her belly button. I was like, what the? There were 2 women beside her, and they looked like, what are those? What's a wench? Wenches? Those were her wenches. You know, not confused with her hammers. Those are her wenches. That was fucking bad. but she was cool. I do have an autographed picture of her in the podcast studio that we're in right now. But I do remember I said, hey, listen, I just want to let you know I've been a fan of yours since Beautiful Tragedy. I know everyone's out there, they're into her hits, and she's all over Sirius Radio, and she's all over terrestrial radio. And if you want to hear Maria Brink sing her fucking ass off, and you want to hear some metal fronted by a true front woman, A Beautiful Tragedy EP is some of her best work, in my opinion.
Well, it's super melodic, and when, once my wife introduced me to them, and I went back and looked at their catalog, and I saw that around that time of Beautiful Tragedy, they did a cover of Pantera's I'm Broken. They had me. I'm like, yeah, that's it. Oh, I like this band.
Yeah. Now, she's backed by some awesome band members. Bass player Travis Johnson and guitarist Randy Weitzel, I believe. When we saw them on the boat, Shiprocked, they were fucking awesome. They came out very theatrical, like you said, and I can't wait to see where they're going to take their live show next.
I'm looking forward to this new album. They just released a single called The In Between.
Okay.
It's really fucking good.
I did not hear that yet, and I've been meaning to check that out.
Really good. And if that's... They almost reference other songs that they've had in their catalog in this song.
Okay.
And if this is any indication of where this album is going, it's going to be fucking awesome.
Well, in this moment, what is it called?
Mother.
This band, now I'm picking all bands that I saw live. That's what I'm psyched about seeing. Side stage at the Mayhem Festival, 2014 in Camden, New Jersey. Now, I know this motherfucker could act, but I'll be honest. When Body Count hit the stage, I was fucking floored, dude. Ice-T, Ernie C. Yo, I'll be honest with you. They hit the stage, and I was like, oh, let me just check this. What is he? CSI? Fucking whatever that show he's on. I'm like, let me check this out.
Law and Order.
Close.
What's got Mr. Belvedere?
Let me just tell you, Body Count. Fucking, it was the reason why is because they had all these kids that did not know who the fuck they were. Next thing you know, they were doing a pit like a blender. It was insane. It was fucking insane. So, Body Count, they released a song, Carnivore, in 2019 in prep for this album. Release date, March 6th.
No disrespect, but his wife has a big ass. You think that's why he called it Carnivore?
That's a possibility.
What's her name?
Poopy? Coco.
There you go. So that, I've always been a tad bit conflicted about Body Count. And they kind of lost me a little bit with their anti-cop stance. And I'm not saying you have to be pro-cop. There's good cops, there's bad cops. We get it. It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But I'm always able to separate, political views, world views from the artist or the music that I like. Like, for example, Robert De Niro is probably one of my favorite actors of all time. But at this point, I think he's probably one of the biggest pieces of shit on the planet.
I am one of the biggest Bruce Springsteen fans out there. I don't agree with him talking about politics. I love him for his music. So that's a whole nother topic, but I just don't agree with politics and musicians.
Now, we don't want to be hypocritical because we're in a band together, right? And we've written some songs with some odd lyrics, provocative lyrics.
True.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that's what we mean literally. You know, it's an art form. It's a form of expression. You know, I saw an awesome interview with Bono from U2, and he said, you know, when Johnny Cash wrote Folsom Prison Blues and said, when I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die, he didn't literally mean that. He didn't shoot a man in Reno, for all we know. he might.
That's Carnivore from Body Count 2020, new album. Check it.
So the final one on my list is from the mighty Hatebreed.
Hatebreed.
Coming up with their follow-up to the Concrete Confessional, which is an awesome album in its own right. They have an album coming out in 2020 that Jamie Josta, the singer, describes as hardcore arena anthems.
A band of that caliber setting out to write anthem-esque songs is something I'm really interested in hearing. His monstrous vocals and those heavy riffs that those dudes write, I'm sure I'm going to be ripping my steering wheel off the dash while driving on the way to work.
100%. And I don't know about you, but our good friend who passed away, George Dodlin, rest in peace, our brother, put me onto Hatebreed. And I really didn't fully understand them until till George put us onto them. And they are what they are, man. The lyrics are positive. It's about improving yourself, being better, overcoming obstacles. But Jamie Johnson said this album is going to be a little bit darker, which is pretty cool because that's like uncharted territory for them.
That is awesome. I think we've talked about how this guy can unbelievably scream.
Holy
all
shit.
Tour long. How he does it? No idea.
What we do, I do a limited amount of screaming, I would say.
Yeah.
We play 2 shows back to back. I can't fucking talk. This guy, and that's what actually impressed me about them and got me into him as a vocalist is how do you scream your fucking balls off? Yeah. Song after song, so heavy, so punching, but yet can play a whole tour.
And I believe on his podcast, he's actually said that he's actually went to the vocal doctor, and the doctor was just like, yeah, you're good. You're one of the very few. And you're pretty much doing everything the right way. God bless. I mean, the guy has his niche, right? He sticks to it. And he murders it every time he goes out. He's an awesome frontman.
They are who they are, and they're unapologetic. Like this is their style. It's kind of like Smash Mouth football, you know, straight down the middle, no surprises. But this album, with it being a little bit darker, I'm super interested.
Love it. I think that's an awesome 2020 album. I'm looking forward to it myself. New album, Hatebreed 2020. The king of shock rock. I'm calling it Marilyn Manson.
This one almost made my list too.
Now, let's just get this straight. It doesn't mean Rocco and I don't like rap, country, club. Well, I think I like club. But this is just, we're doing rock, this show. Not the last album, Heaven Upside Down, which was very good. But the album before that, A Pale Emperor, probably one of Marilyn Manson's most diverse albums. And I fucking love it. Bluesy, heavy, catchy. If he comes out with anything like that again, I'll be a fan. I know everybody loves Antichrist Superstar. I just love to hear how he just transcends his hot topic ways throughout the years at 50-something years old. I don't know if this single is on the new album, but did you hear God Is Gonna Cut You Down?
I did, and it's fucking amazing. I know that he did this album with Shooter Jennings, who's one of my favorite outlaw country artists. I'm not into contemporary country, if you would, like the Luke Bryants and the Jason Aldeans, like that kind of stuff. But Shooter Jennings is one of my favorite. You know, as far as outlaw country goes, he carries on the legacy of like his dad, Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, in that vein. So I'm totally looking forward to this album for sure.
Hell yeah, new Marilyn Manson 2020. Check it.
So that was our 3 picks each of Revolver's top 45 most anticipated rock albums of 2020.
Time for a little comedy? Oh, we're going to laugh our tits off, my friend.
Then you got a lot of laughing to do, pal.
You cocksucker. Let's go.
Walk a 100-pound pit bull down the street. I'm a tough-looking son of a bitch, okay? I walk a 3-pound peekaboo down the street. They're looking for my husband walking behind me.
So we seldom agree, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so
sure.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and give you a hot take. Ready?
Yes. Go.
Dave Chappelle is a comic genius. I know you're shocked.
Probably going down as one of the best comedians of our time.
Dude, what a fucking awesome special.
Sticks and Stones, Atlanta. He threw down that night, my friend.
He literally, it doesn't matter who you are, what you are.
No. Nobody was safe.
He served everybody.
Nobody was safe that night.
And he does it in such a way where it's not just, you know, dark humor or crass humor. He does it in such an intellectual way where you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I never even thought of this perspective.
When I watch him, I'm getting his perspective on this joke. His jokes are next level. As you think he's taking it somewhere.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden he hooks a Ricky. And then his comedic, he's a comedic genius, and he's awesome. He's awesome.
I feel like in this special he came back and like reclaimed his yard.
Yeah.
If you will.
Yeah.
You know, like, all right, you know, there's been some comedians that have come out since then, you know, since the end of Chappelle's show. But, I mean, holy shit. It was on the money with everything. You know, it didn't matter. Black, white, rich, poor, guy, girl, Democrat, Republican, everybody.
Everybody got it.
He, like, went down the line and wrecked everybody.
Yeah. My man came out to Prince lyrics, basically saying that he's taking it back to 1999 and he's going to show you how it was in 1999 and how you could say shit in 1999 and how people acted differently and people weren't so butthurt about all this, as you say,
cancel culture.
Yeah, I think it's gone a little too far.
And what it has done is it's actually robbed comedy, I think.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You know, cancel culture, if you don't know what that means, essentially the essence of it is, you know, now any star, anyone that's a public figure that has a platform or something to say, we're going back in their lives. If they ever fucked up, you know, now they're done. That's it.
Well, thank God my boss doesn't know about my cancel culture. Hey, listen, hey Archie, can I speak to you in the office? I got to talk to you about your cancel culture. What?
No, but it's true. And what it does is it actually takes the balls out of comedy. It, you know, I think as a society, sometimes we take ourselves a little bit too seriously.
Rocco, he opened up the show with a joke about Anthony Bourdain that that the whole crowd immediately was like, oh, and then all of a sudden,
FYI, he was like great friends with.
Yeah, oh, was he? I did not know that. But for him to open up the show with my man Anthony Bourdain, went around the world, had the best meals, talked to the coolest people, had a great life, committed suicide, and his boy from back home in D.C. met a woman in law school, got married. Before he was out of law school, got divorced, lost everything, working at Foot Locker, wearing the referee outfit, but he didn't kill himself. Just the different levels of thinking that Chappelle does with his jokes. I remember you telling me about the skit of the alphabet people.
Oh my God! Probably one of the funniest on the special.
Oh, absolutely. LGBTQ driving in a car. Now, obviously, we're not giving away anything. This Netflix, it's on Netflix.
No spoiler alert.
Yeah, but we're just going over a couple jokes that like pretty some standouts from the special. The LGBTQ alphabet people. No matter what you do in your artistic expression, you never ever allowed to upset the alphabet people. You know who I mean. Those people who took up 20% of the alphabet for themselves. The L's, the G's, the B's, the T's. As he was talking about each member of the car, somebody in the audience would be like rooting for their letter L. And Chappelle's just like, call him out as well.
I think what I really loved about this the most was it reminded me of George Carlin towards the end of his career, where he would hit you with jokes, but he would also hit you with these ideas and ideals that made you think. Yeah. Right? So half the show is funny, half the show is like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
And I think that's what separates this special from any of the ones I've seen in the past from Dave Chappelle or from the Chappelle show, which was probably my favorite show of all time on TV. But he really makes you think. And he may make you change your perspective on something or how you view something. You know, I mean, he covers a lot of, fucked up topics. Yeah. The opioid crisis, like you said before, the LGBT, the race relations, anything, what have you. But he makes you see different perspectives on things. And that's, I mean, what else could you hope for from somebody where you're seeing a 360 view of life?
I couldn't have said it better myself there, Rocky Boy. Dave Chappelle, Sticks and Stones, out on Netflix now. Check it. Since we're talking about Dave Chappelle, do you remember when you and I met? Hey, Joe Rogan. Hey, Joe Rogan. Is it almost lunchtime? Because I smell somebody cooking.
Speaking of Joe Rogan, he was the man who called UFC 246 Cowboy versus Conor. Let's fucking go.
It was you and I at a booth at one of the hotel restaurants. A restaurant in the hotel. 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I mean, their last call is like 12 fucking o'clock, so it's probably like...
Forrest Griffin fought that night, by the way.
Yeah, we went to see a UFC.
Babalu fought that night.
Babalu fought that night. Forrest Griffin's old school. Forrest Griffin fought that night. It was a good time. I want to say it was around 2005.
We sit down to eat, all fucking whacked out of our minds. And Joe Rogan sits down. He was with like a couple people. And I look to the right and I'm like, Joe Rogan. That's Joe Rogan. He's like, yeah, Joe Rogan. So I turn to him and I look at him and I go, in the Dave Chappelle crackhead voice, hey, Joe Rogan. He fucking looked at me with eyes like a disappointed mother would look at his child and say, like with his eyes, he looked at me, shut the fuck up. I want to go eat pancakes right now.
That was exactly the look that he gave.
All right, so let me ask you a question. My man Conor came out and just shouldered the shit out of him.
Wait, hang on. So now he's your man, Conor.
I know. I wanted Cowboy. I thought Cowboy was going to kick his ass, but...
Dude, what a fucking main event it was.
I'll tell you what.
All 40 seconds of it.
All 40 seconds of it. My wife says the same thing. But
See, I don't get that. You finish in 40 seconds, you're a loser. Connor's gonna be a fucking champion.
what the fuck? I tell you what.
Well, let me tell you this. Much respect for Donald the Cowboy Cerrone.
Absolutely.
He is probably one of the toughest guys ever to step in a mixed martial arts cage, ring, what have you. Decorated MMA fighter, Muay Thai fighter, but this fight was all McGregor. 40 seconds of fury, right? This was McGregor's comeback fight after a loss to Khabib Nurmagomedov. It was a huge fight for him. And right from the bell, McGregor came out throwing that left hand. He showed the left hand, that's his weapon, showed it right off the bat. Cowboy ducked the hand.
Yeah. He ducked.
Went to his right, but then got hit with, I believe he got hit with a knee. They go into a clinch. So normally you see this, I know a lot of people were saying, well, we haven't seen that kind of a strike before, but normally you see it against the cage. McGregor hit him with 3 to 4 left shoulder strikes that clearly we found out after the fight broke Cowboy's nose.
Oh, shit.
I think that kind of like set the table for how the fight was going to go. All 40 seconds of it, obviously.
And that was Cowboy's last rodeo.
So like much like when you get kicked in like the ear or in the temple and you lose your equilibrium, you get your nose broken. I mean, it's tough after that. I mean, you're disoriented. So after that, Conor showed him the left hand. And what it did, because Cowboy's a notorious slow starter, it caused Cowboy to move to his right, which is Conor's strong side because he's a southpaw. By Conor showing him the left hand, it forced Cowboy to move his feet to get out of the way. And what he did was he actually circled the wrong way. Instead of circling left to avoid Conor's power from the left, he circled right and got hit with a leg kick. Now, fortunately enough for Cowboy, it just got hit with the toes. He didn't get hit with the shin, which is the kick's designed to do to knock you out.
I'm just going to hit you with my toes.
So,
not in my shin just yet.
He hit him with his toes, but it stunned him enough where it actually knocked him down. And at that point, and I give credit to referee Herb Dean. He let the fight go on, because Cowboy's a tough motherfucker.
He is a tough motherfucker. You can blow him like a hot bowl of soup.
But he gave Cowboy every opportunity to fight back because he knows, it's a main event fight. Cowboy's a tough motherfucker. Gave him every chance, but Conor just unloaded left-hand bombs, and that was it.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I mean, for the 40 seconds it was exciting as shit. I think it kind of...
Do we know about a payday at all? What do you think?
I think they said Conor got $80 million.
$80 million.
All told.
$80 million.
All told. Now, I know that...
Obviously, there's cuts and there's managers and there's,
Cowboy was getting 200 to show, 200 to win. But that doesn't count, like pay-per-view points and that kind of stuff. But obviously, far less than what Conor gets, but, rightly so.
Yeah.
What I do take exception to is UFC is now on the ESPN Plus platform. And like him or hate him, he's definitely someone to listen to. But Stephen A. Smith, his... and Joe Rogan is pretty critical of him too. His analysis of the fight, he's not an MMA analyst by nature.
Okay.
But he is an ESPN analyst. He's focused more on how Cowboy doesn't show up for big fights rather than how fucking dominant Conor was, which Conor actually demanded an apology from him to Cowboy because, I mean, he was totally off base, and I don't know, I get he's an ESPN employee, but I just don't know how they put him out there analyzing MMA when he simply doesn't know the game. So, Arch, tell me, who do you want to see Conor McGregor face next?
I want to see Conor fight Jorge Masvidal for the BMF belt.
Ooh.
Damn straight I do.
I believe that's one of the fights that's a huge money fight, and I think it's a fight they can make. It's going to be either that, I think, or Conor, dropping back down to 155 and having a rematch, I guess, with the winner of the Khabib Nurmagomedov and Tony Ferguson fight. So we'll see, but I think that the Masvidal fight is for sure a money fight and going to be a fan favorite.
Well, according to Connor, it doesn't matter what weight class you're in. I'll wipe you all up.
Well, I tell you what, he's the first guy to have a knockout or TKO in the 145 weight class, 155, and 170. So no matter what weight class he goes to, his power stays with him, which is pretty incredible.
I'll tell you what, hopefully one day we're going to get him on the podcast and we're going to have a what?
A shot of proper number 12.
Congrats, Connor. Oh, shit. You know what time it is. Rock, it's that time that we introduce one of our local faves. That's right. This is a segment that we like to call Rockinize. And we are spitting out some of our favorite local unsigned acts that you may or may not have heard of. But now you will. This week we have a band called Corevalay, hailing from northern New Jersey. One of the most original and high-energy bands to recently emerge from dirty Jersey. And I'm about to show you motherfucking people the way. Let's go. Corevalay consists of Phil Barbetta lead vocals, Gerald Vitale lead vocals and rhythm guitar, Joe Baker vocals and lead guitar, AJ on bass, and Mike Dawson on drums. Let me tell you something about this unsigned band from northern New Jersey. These guys are fire, bro. I see them perform, high energy. These guys come correct. Writing style, harmonies in their vocals, screaming. They got it all. They're a complete package. They could be on Sirius XM's Octane, regular rotation right now. In 2014, they released their first album called This Beautiful Ride. Standout tracks. I mean, the title track from this album, Beautiful Ride, anthem choruses. Phil sings his ass off, man. This kid is amazing. If you guys know the band Cold, and if you know the band Hinder, the singer Scooter Ward from Cold and the original singer from Hinder, Austin John, he's a mixture. He's a hybrid of them both. And you know, if you know those bands, they could sing. And this kid's got some catchy choruses. What also stands out to me are 3 tunes off this album: Worthless, She Is, and Slowly, I believe. They're slower tracks. They're written very well. Phil's vocals mixed in with a little bit of Gerald's rapping is the right combination, and the execution is on point. They'll never say rap is dead, because the new shit that's coming out on Sirius Octane right now, I hear rap all the time. And these kids been doing it since they started Corevalay. There's another track, I think it's called Left to Stay, where Gerald raps on it, and he spits out almost some P. Roach type vocals. It's dope. Again, the choruses, when I say anthem, I mean sing-alongs, people that would remember these lyrics when they see them live or listen to their tunes at home. There's a bridge in the song, in Worthless, that is very powerful, and it grabs you. It grabs you emotionally with Phil's voice. For the people out there that don't know this band, you got to give them a listen. Another tune that I actually seen the band physically open up with, I Am the Danger. Heavy as shit, very high energy. I don't want to be biased, but I'm going to be, because I don't give a fuck. But they've actually, since they are friends of mine, they actually called me on stage to play one of their songs. The song is called I Assure You We're Open.
Still trying to bleed through, the damage is done. Now you've gone and you've lost everyone. I've raced across the sky. I'm running in this mile. Down on my knees. I've
They end off the album with this song, and oh my fucking God, for a band to come out with this type of writing, a local unsigned band to come out with this type of writing, I think it is fucking killer. Not because they asked me to come on stage, right, at the Stanhope House. Shout out to the Stanhope House in Stanhope, New Jersey. But this song has everything. It's got hard rap, it's got screaming, it's got these catchy ass guitar licks, the powerful choruses. It's a perfect way to close out this album. This Beautiful Ride. In 2017, with their sophomore release, Forever, it's a 5-song EP. Is It Easier is a track that opens up this EP that continues Corevalay's melodic, fast guitar riffs, catchy choruses, with a little sprinkle of that rap. And let me tell you something. Joe Baker's guitar riffs / solos on this EP took Corevalay's sound to a whole new level. With an example of his solo in a song called Rewind. Again, this song, so powerful, it grabs you. It's a great live song, and I've definitely seen the crowd bounce up and down listening to these tunes. Also, these dudes did not forget where they came from with the slower hits, with a new song called Miles Away.
Miles and miles away, miles and miles apart, I can feel the same. I've felt your heart.
Miles Away starts out with Phil starting the chorus with an acoustic guitar behind him, establishing in the forefront of this song how powerful it's going to be without electric guitars. Another standout track that is off this EP is the title track of the EP called Forever. It's got an eerie guitar in the verses, which is really kind of cool. It's got a type of galloping chug that's in the choruses that complements each other, you know? Another factor to this band is, on this EP, AJ's bass line. In that bridge going into the chorus, it just blows me away. That kid is not only a phenomenal musician, he's just a down-to-earth dude you could talk music with. Again, the band is called Corevalay, and from what I gather, if anybody is a hardcore Seinfeld nerd, that's where the band's name comes from. I'll let you figure it out. Phil's voice, very melodic with great harmonies. Both albums. Gerald, his rhythm guitar is very solid. His stage presence draws you into the energy of the music. Who jumps around on stage like a madman, and I could appreciate that as a guy who loves to jump around like a fucking idiot all around stage. I like watching him play. Kid could rap, kid could scream his ass off. He is the main ingredient behind Corevalay's sound. AJ's bass is not only a standout driving force that takes these guitar melodies to a new level, but he is one awesome musician with great smelling hair. There was a time where I was playing, they asked me to come on stage. I played a show with them. It was the last song of the set. I learned the tune. I came up. I was rocking out. I actually was behind AJ. I was actually standing on a drum riser playing along to the song, and I'm just like, I got that smell, and I'm like, what is that awesome smell? What is it? And I'm like, holy shit, that's AJ's hair. Fucking kid's got great smelling hair. Wish I had some of it. Joe Baker, his guitar solos, pretty fucking cool, man. You got to check them out. They're powerful and yet tasteful, but written with some balls. Mike Dawson is a solid drummer, and Corevalay is damn lucky to have a solid drummer like this kid. Solid grooves from this timekeeper, and that's what you need as the backbone of a really good band. So check these motherfuckers out, Corevalay.com. You can follow them at Corevalay on all social media. You can contact them, Corevalay@gmail.com. Corevalay, Corevalay. You will not regret listening to this band. My sources tell me that they are in the studio right now writing their third album. I can't wait. If it sounds anything like the first two, I don't know about you people, I'm in for a treat. So be on the lookout for these dudes. Check them out.
Yo, that's awesome. Gerald's the fucking man. You gotta check these guys out.
So that was our first segment of bringing you local, unsigned acts that people have possibly never heard of. And you're hearing it here first. So check it out. Corevalay, you just got rockinized.
So that was an awesome time, bro. Great fucking first podcast. My friend, do you have anything left to say?
If you're drinking White Claw with Jude Law and Jim Harbaugh watching Monday Night Raw while eating coleslaw, you're listening to Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast.
We out.